Out of the 350 plus solar PV companies in the world, there are only 8 that are female founded. That's right. And we're chatting with one of them today. Yay! You're going to be meeting an amazing co founder of a smart balcony solar solution that works off a normal plug. And she's this Ukrainian-born serial entrepreneur with over 12 years' experience in the tech industry. And yeah, she's the only female founded solar PV company in the EU. Oh my gosh, thank goodness. It's Fab Female Founder Friday on the Startup Life live show. Let's glow, everyone. Woohoo! Hello and welcome to the Startup Life live show. I'm your host, Andy Lyons, 4 times founder and startup champion to founders around the world. And after raising 4 businesses of my own, I got to tell you, I got a good idea of what you're crawling through, right? I was just asking our guest, like, what are you doing this weekend? She's like, what do you think I'm doing? I'm working, of course. That's what founders do. It is a 24/7 job. But I know you can carve out time to do things like some self-care, right? Take good care of yourself. Take at least, a certain hours period of time for a break to sort of rejuvenate everything. But also for those of you who have carved out time to tune in today, whether it's live viewers, or via replay or podcast listeners, I am so grateful that you found the time to up your founder game by tuning into this delicious conversation today, because as you do better, your business will do better. And if you are watching via video, I'd love it if you just liked the post wherever you're watching. But if you are on YouTube and you have not done so already, please join us here with a like on the subscribe button. And to receive an alert whenever I post a new show, come on over to the Startup Life Live meetup group. This is when you'll get an announcement of who's going to be in the show. You'll get to read their bio, find out what they're up to. They could be in an industry that you're in or similar, or they could be going through some challenges that you're going through and you want to pick their brain. So come on over and then join the Startup Life Live meetup group. Links are in the show notes, or you can scan that QR code right there to join us. And so let me share some Andy-licious announcements with you today, because it's always important to share what's out in the world to help you on your founder journey. So, of course, I always love to start off with Arlen's Academy, because she is always posting new information and ways. I mean, seriously, she is the most generous. She's the founder of Backstage Capital, by the way. Generous person out there to help founders around the world, especially founders of color and members of the LGBTQ plus community. She's just amazing. But also, if you're trying to get your pitch deck pulled together, or you're applying to an accelerator program, Scroobius is amazing. And they empower founders to create pitches that speak to investors and prepare for their next funding round or accelerator program. And they are so affordable. I mean, they're less than what I used to charge just to review a pitch deck. So hop on over there. And that's right. If you use Andy 15 when you check out, you're going to get 15% off of their programs. And coming up is, this is an amazing group that we are fortunate to have right here in Boston, but they have these wonderful virtual events, and creating, again, a clear and enticing pitch deck is crucial at any stage of your startup fundraising process. And the Capital Network's Own Your Story Bootcamp will help you build a compelling pitch deck that can clearly and concisely communicate the most important aspects of your business. Use the word Andy-licious at checkout to receive 50% off any of the Capital Network's programs and boot camps. They're just amazing. And they have this great female founder fellowship program that I just love, love, love. Anyway, and if you want to grab some of the documents that I talk about here, my questions for investors, or investor questions, or customer persona, or how to calculate the LTV CAC ratio, hop on over to my Andy-licious advice on Buy Me a Coffee. You can grab those free docs and resources, and it's at buymeacoffee.com/Andy Lyons. And hey, If you want to buy me a cup of coffee, I will go and have myself a breve cappuccino and cheer you for that, your generosity. All right. So I just want to get right to introducing our guest today because I know you will love meeting her and learning from her. And it's the one and only Karolina Attspodina. And as I said earlier, this is a Ukrainian-born serial entrepreneur with over 12 years of experience in the tech industry. And in 2021, she co-founded WeDoSolar. This EU-based green tech startup offers smart balcony solar solutions Europe-wide, enabling users to lower their dependence on grid energy while reducing their CO2 footprint and saving up to 25% of electricity cost each year. And what I really love is that these panels, they work, like you can install them yourself and you use a regular plug to get them going. We got to find out how all this came together. Let's welcome to the show, Karolina. Yay!
Thank you.
Get my clappers out.
Thank you so much for having me. Amazing. I'm super excited.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here. Tell everybody where you are hailing from today.
I'm in Berlin, in Germany today. This is where our company was founded and is headquartered. And it was sunny. So, actually we had such a huge amounts of sun the past couple of months. So global warming, hello.
Hello.
But past few days are rainy. So at least
good.
a little bit.
Well, we know that it's been really tough in Europe. I mean, fires in Portugal, Italy has like maybe an inch left in one of their major rivers. It's really, and I know Germany is also suffering. And my friends in the UK, like their homes just what AC? What?
It's not allowed here. It's that's a bit of a disaster. So we're basically sweaty all day.
Yeah. And my team in Milan, they just like, Andy, you cannot know and understand just the level of heat that we've got going on here. So Karolina, talk a little bit about, you are a serial entrepreneur. So you've been at this a few times. And so I love to find out what was it that compelled you to become an entrepreneur? What, leave what I would call the steady paycheck behind, explore new ways of being in the world. And did you have any influences in your life growing up, or were you just that person who started hustling in third grade, getting moving products? Tell us a little bit about your entrepreneur journey.
Sure. So I think for me, so as you mentioned, I was born in Ukraine, in Kiev, but at the age of 9, myself and my mom, we actually moved to Ireland. So I grew up in Ireland, in Dublin. And I did start working pretty early, probably at the age of 15, flipping burgers. Flipping burgers, serving cafe lattes, and doing all sorts of stuff. And I definitely knew that, I want to make sure that I can earn money now.
Right.
So I wanted to be independent very, very early on from my age.
And how did you get into tech? Did you get a degree in technology? Did you study computer science? How did this become?
So I really wanted to be an engineer. And back then it was super expensive for me to basically get into this one college that I wanted. And the amount of money that we would have to pay was just like absolutely enormous. And I really just didn't want my mom, to take a loan. So we're then going to be paying it off for God knows how many years. So I was like, I'm just going to do something a bit more simple. So I did like business management and economics. And I was like, I'm going to get into tech anyway, just a different way. So at the end, I still started working, with tech companies. So 10 years ago, I came to Berlin. And I guess this is where, the entrepreneurs, like the German, not only German entrepreneurs, but also a lot of expats were building their companies. And I was like so lucky to be surrounded by all these people that it kind of encouraged me in a way to build my own, because they were saying, hey, you have all these superpowers. You're an amazing marketer and you know exactly how to sell. You need to have a company of your own. So
I love that. And that's music to my ears. So because sometimes if you're in tech and you've been, going through all of that great learning in that industry, sales is not necessarily going to be the forte,
Yeah.
especially, an engine, even though not trained engineer, I'm sure you picked up a lot of information and socked it away in your beautiful brain. But the fact that people recognized in you your strong marketing and sales background. Oh my gosh. So how did you first begin? Like, what was your first company and what did you learn from that
So
experience?
my first company was actually like a digital agency that I started at. I was working as sales. First of all, of course, like starting way at the bottom, and then working kind of my way through the company. I literally, asked one of the founders if I can go from one department to another, just to kind of discover how each department works and make sure that I can understand how to sell the product better or how to sell the service better at that stage. And it really helped me tremendously because I knew exactly what kind of questions each department had or what kind of things they would need from a client and vice versa. And like this gave me the understanding that I have such huge powers of being able to explain certain things and
Right.
especially technical things to our clients, that at some point we had like two sales team and one sales team was like, I don't know, 10 people, and the other sales team was like myself and like one of my really good friends. And because I was doing a lot of like technical work, because I was like naturally like very interested in it, so I was like doing all of the technical implementations and like, oh yeah, give me that, I'm just gonna do it for you. And we're just like implementing clients like just on the go, and everything was working really really fast. And yeah, it gave me the power to understand that obviously tech, but if you understand tech, but if you're also understand how sales work and how to make a client happy, this works really well.
Oh my God. I mean, Karolina, you are the gift that keeps on giving, in my opinion. When you can do biz dev with tech, come on, that's marketing. That's being able to grab the interest and use the right language and figure out what do people want to hear in order to understand what. Because sometimes, I mean, I've interviewed enough founders and I've mentored enough founders. When I hear them explain it, I go, no, I don't understand a thing. So that's a gift that you have, because technology can be really simple if you find the right way to explain it. And by having this sort of boot camp digital marketing experience, right, where you were really helping tech companies bond and relate to their customers and find them and speak the language, I think that is such a gift, and it was a great preparation.
Oh, 100%. I think it was amazing experience that I've gotten, and it definitely helps me right now tremendously because I understand this side. But also, at certain point, my job or my main job actually became that I was going into companies like even large companies that had very technical products, and I was actually helping them simplify these products and simplify the messaging towards the market. Because I think sometimes, like especially if you have a few founders that are solely tech and they have no idea, how to communicate things, the way things can be communicated could be quite intimidating, I would say, for the crowd. And they would think that, oh, I actually don't understand anything in this world. This is the type of technology that I probably wouldn't touch because I actually don't know how to use it. And I think we just need to take that intimidation out of this product and make sure that anyone can understand it. Yeah, that it can be
See,
made very easy.
take the intimidation out of this product.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that's a crowd. Is that a stitch that on a pillow moment? I mean, you've got to think about that, tech companies. Take the intimidation out of the product. I really, seriously, because so often we've created something really, founders have created something really amazing and extraordinary. But some people are like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think like that became my job to do that. And at some point I was very much interested in our climate and basically helping the green tech startups to rise. So I made the choice that I'm just going to work with green tech startups and make sure that I can help them. And 5-6 years ago, it was like very, very hard for them to raise money, to understand how to even go to market, how to even get partners, because it was just like such a taboo still, and that was my main aim. And obviously at some point then I was like, okay, I should probably do a green tech startup as well.
That's awesome. I agree, Richard. Oh, so good to see you. Richard O is an amazing producer of podcasts. So if you need someone to produce your show, please reach out to Richard O. Oh, I like that. Richard
Yeah.
O. If you need someone to produce your show, reach out to Richard O. Okay, there's your tagline. But he's saying, make a client happy. Oh, yeah, baby. And I agree with you, Ruth. How are you, Goddess Ruth? She's saying your passion for tech is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank
So
you.
true. It really comes across. I love that. But green tech lit you up. And so, what had you seen in your lived experience that made you want to say, you know what? We have to decrease, if not eliminate, our dependence on fossil fuel, at least, especially in the consumer end. What was it that you saw that you just said, this lights my heart up and this is where I want to be?
Yeah, to be honest, I'll tell you just like a few minutes how the whole thing came up, and me working with green tech companies, and obviously finding out about more and more new amazing products that we can all use. I was actually traveling through Portugal, and one of my friends that was hosting me there, I was saying, oh, like actually have a look at all these Christmas lights. They are powered by solar. So even though we're quite a poor country, we try to minimize our costs. So all of their Christmas decoration that they, for example, put up every single year, they never change it. So it's always the same. So actually the country doesn't spend money on creating new decorations for Christmas, which I find fantastic because they totally reuse the stuff. And it gets obviously powered by solar. So these little lights that are hanging on a Christmas tree are actually getting power during the day, and then during the night the city lights up, which I find super fantastic. And I wish that all of the countries would actually do that. So this is how kind of like that the idea came up. And all of a sudden I got 2 solar clients. So one had solar blinds that you can put on your windows, and another one had like an AC which was powered by solar. Yeah, so like an efficient AC that you can basically put in your home. And I was like, wow, guys, like, why don't you create more products? Like, there's so much opportunity in this space, because actually B2C products are not really existing that much in solar. And this intimidation that people, I guess, feel is that you have to have a house, where you can put solar on your rooftop, or, it's solar parks that you see kind of like far away outside of the city. But in fact, when we think about, climate, obviously, we have a lot of emissions of CO2 in the city, and this is where we should be actually taking them down or making sure that we're dropping them. So the main idea behind, using solar was actually about, reducing our CO2, because we really very much need to get to net zero. We are way behind on our climate goals, and we definitely, can, let's say, fuck up our
You
planet.
can say that. We can F up it big time if we don't get on it.
Yeah. Well, so right now, by calculations, we have about 3 years to really, act and do something about it. Yeah. So this was the very main point of working with solar and creating something out of solar. And of course, then, about the invasion in Ukraine, and you understood that how much Europe is dependent on the gas from Russia. Almost 70% of Germany supplied with the Russian gas. So obviously that gets cut off. People are kind of fucked.
Yeah,
so,
they really are. And so did you notice, like in Berlin and in Germany, people were like, say what? 70% of these murderers gas. We'll just call the Russians what they are, folks. They are murdering and they're, creating huge crimes against humanity. Did you find that folks started having more of a sense of urgency around, well, we've got to get off the dependence of this?
Definitely. Of course, I very much wish that the disaster that has happened didn't happen.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
But I do understand that sometimes a certain thing needs to happen for people to actually realize and be kind of kicked in the butt to understand that, okay, we really need to act now. And by this, of course, our sales have gone up like 70% since the invasion. We're having just so many people reaching out and trying to get these solar panels because they want to make sure that they can at least do a little bit, to lower their dependency. And obviously, governments, they cannot, implement renewables so fast.
Right.
Also, our grid is not made for so much renewables. Like we cannot transport so much renewable energy between, like cities and buildings and so on. So that's why, local production is actually one of the ways to be able for the
That's
grid
right.
to handle it.
Well, let's step back for just a second though, because I want to find out how you met your co-founder.
Yeah. Actually, it was.
And is it Win? How do you say his name?
It's Qian.
Qian.
Yes. So Qian is from China. He's Chinese, but he lived in Germany for a really long time. So he speaks fluent German, super smart, amazing engineer. And I'm super grateful to have him, to be honest. We get along really, really well. And it was really random. I was actually talking to like a venture builder, a VC venture builder, and the guys were asking me, hey, like what you're up to, what are you doing right now? And I was like, well, I'm basically consulting clients on certain things, on like marketing and sales strategies. It has been always in tech, but I'm really thinking to build something in solar. And they're like, oh, tell us about it. So I told them the idea, about putting solar panels on balconies, that, this could be a very good way to bring solar to the market, and especially to people that
So
are ready.
Karolina, this was your idea.
It was my idea. We had very similar ideas with Tian. So he was
but still, this is what you were thinking. And I'm going to emphasize this, folks, because, I said in the beginning, finding solar, and that's not just the installers. This is the solar PV companies, okay, photovoltaic companies that have any kind of female ownership is rare. And Karolina told me during our tech check yesterday that there's only 8 women who are in actual equity stake positions and management and leadership roles. And she's one of them. So, for you to come up with this idea and then start to pull on it. I have a wonderful local friend here in Boston, Spectra. She was at a climate tech event a few days ago, and she's looking around the room and she's like, am I the only Black person here? And I asked her, and are you like one of the few female people there? And she's like, oh my gosh, that too. So this is wonderful. And we need to have this representation that you had this idea, you had this passion, and then you meet your co-founder, and lo and behold, he's been like, I've been thinking about the same thing too. So what happened then? Yeah, it's like a love story, everybody. How did you two meet? Was it a meet cute?
To be honest, like we were super lucky to meet through this venture builder, and this venture builder has introduced us. Usually it's super hard to meet a co-founder so fast, and especially, to have a great bond, to understand that you are actually gonna, work well together. But somehow, we understood that I think we really understand each other, and we decided to work together for the next couple of months, building the idea up. Coming up with the, how it's going to look like, what the business model is going to be. And then we were supposed to basically present it to these guys, to the venture builder. As soon as we presented it, they were like, amazing, we're going to invest. Karolina, when are you coming to Germany? Because I was in Portugal at the time. And I was like, well, I guess, in 2 days, I take it now. And we basically opened a company in a couple of days after like talking to each other. And yeah.
Oh, way to go. Well, and that's because you both could hit the ground running because he has some experience behind him too as well.
Yes. So he had also like a few startups of his own. One of his startups was doing like these 360 cameras that you can like throw up in the air, and it will take like a 360 panorama picture, and it sells in like supermarkets all over Germany, and like some other European outlets as well. So he knows
Oh,
how to build
come
products.
on. Do I love that idea? I can just imagine the TikToks you'd get from that.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. So we had very similar ideas, and for us together, like the climate goals and making sure that then like the independency on the gas can be actually lowered. This was the main driver of the company,
Yeah,
obviously.
but you had to come up with several things, so to come up with your minimum viable product, your MVP, because you were combining, and I'll bring up the image here, you were combining not only the production of these solar panels, easy to install, and what I love, plug in,
Yes.
combined with an app. So you can also feel really good about the energy that you're gaining from the solar panels, but also understanding the use of that. All of a sudden you're like well, you'll explain it, but you've got your own sort of production home going on, going, ooh, look at me here.
You basically have your own little solar power plant on the balcony. That's
Thank you.
how we call it. And yeah, it took us a while to definitely discover what we're going to do. We had so many solar panels that we ordered, like all sizes and shapes, and like we were trying to test things. Then we found out that actually, for example, in Germany alone, actually a lot of people were doing DIY projects and putting really heavy solar panels that you would usually put on the roof on their balcony, which is totally illegal, and the state would like sue them that they cannot do that because it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
If something falls, like you cannot really protect or like insure anything like this. And in fact, there's 200,000 of them in Germany, DIY projects like this installed.
Yikes, that's dangerous. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So right now, we were thinking, okay, so people really want this product. They really want to make sure that they have renewable energy. And let's be honest, half of our population are actually renters. I don't know. Maybe I will not even own my own home ever. Maybe I will just rent for the rest of my life, simply because everything is also going towards rental. Sort of say we don't really need to own things anymore. So I think it was important, to also cater to this people that can, also have access to renewable power, and that was really important for us. So we understood that we need to create something very lightweight, something very something that will go around the legislation. Yeah, that you cannot have these really heavy solar panels on your balcony.
But I love the fact though that you were tapped into, like, whoa, like that's a lot of people in in the country of Germany who are
Yeah,
illegally, they're so desperate to have this going on,
yeah,
creating DIY solar panels. So you knew your market was there. You knew.
yeah.
How did you find where to go for the parts and pieces? Because we know here in the US, the supply chain has been ridiculous. Going to find something manufactured. We know China manufactures most of our solar panels.
Yeah.
How did you go and figure this out?
Yeah, so this part actually is taken care of by my partner Tian, because he's doing all the sourcing. He's working with China. He also talks Mandarin. So for us, this is a huge, huge plus. Of course, the panels are produced in China. We really hope that we can bring the production and manufacturing to Europe at some point. It requires different amount of investment, of course.
Yes.
But I really hope by bringing this product to the market and showing the results and the demand that we have, we would be able to also raise further money to actually maybe
Right.
open the manufacturing here as well.
So you've done a lot, because when did you launch?
So the product was launched in February this year.
Come on.
Yeah,
And you guys got together in 2021 as co-founders.
We got together in 2021. The company
Yeah.
was opened in September last year. So within the first half a year, basically, we launched the product.
Oh, seriously, this is inventory here. Okay. You had to come up with the parts, the pieces, the packaging, the distribution. How are you going to get all of that from point A to point B?
Yeah.
Did you have a big order the first time? I mean, what did that look like?
No, the first time we had 100 sets.
Okay.
And to be honest, after launching, we sold out within like a couple of weeks. And then, of course, after the invasion happened,
Yeah.
we got like almost 3,000 orders like instantly. It's insane. Like we still
Yeah.
get so many people, calling in and like using our chat. I think right now on monthly basis we have around 60 to 70,000 people going through our website and basically chatting to our support.
Wow. Say that number again. I want to hear it again just because it feels so good.
67,000 every
No,
single month.
67,000, did you say?
Yeah, 60 or like 70,000, depending on the month, is how many people are going through our website.
Okay. I'm just having an Andylicious moment, everybody, over that. Oh my gosh. So now you're at this wonderful, enviable place, which is we have to meet demand. And is the manufacturer that you're working with, are they able to produce at a volume that you could meet that kind of demand?
Yes, we can actually scale quite fast. So that's like one of the really great things about the company. We were really thinking, how can we scale it also fast or create
Yeah.
a business around solar that can be very scalable. So if you think about, rooftop solar, most of the companies have a bottleneck because most of the money that they're actually making on installations.
Right.
So installation teams, they're coming to your house and installing the whole thing. We don't have that problem because, you can put it up yourself. And this was the whole thing that we can actually literally just ship packages to our customers. And if something doesn't work out, they can ship it back. It's super easy. All of our packages are also within the weight limit of like a standard packaging. So we're not paying, very huge fees for, sending it back and forth. So there's a lot of thought that went into this product.
And how much sunlight do you have to get on your balcony? I mean, not everybody has a balcony though, or are balconies, popular in Germany?
Yeah, I mean, in Europe, there's actually a lot of balconies.
Okay.
Especially, I mean, like the new buildings that are getting built, most of them actually have balconies and railings. So right now,
and how much sun do you have to actually have the panels work? That's what we're always worried about here in the US.
yeah. So in Germany, you would generate probably, let's say, in the worst location, you would still generate around 60 to 70% of its capacity, which is very, very good.
Yes.
And in the very best case, probably 90%. So around 20 to 25% on your electricity bill is what you can save. Of course, in the countries that have more, solar day, like sunny days, not solar days, but sunny days, it works much better. And obviously the generation is like much, much higher.
Oh my gosh.
The only thing here that we have, so in the US, I think you don't have any regulations regarding how much solar you can actually install in your house or let's say balcony. In Europe, we have regulations for every single country, like how much wattage you can install by yourself. So we basically have to supply with the rules and our sets would be different for every single country.
Okay, so to me, that would be a little bit of a constraint as far as production quality. So how do you manage that? So, for Italy, they'll have their regulations, the UK, theirs, Spain and Portugal, Greece. Oh my gosh, Greece, come on. Like there's just so much sun there.
Yes.
Right. So, but they have their regulations. So are they allowed? Like can't even imagine someone saying, no, you can only save 50% of your bill with your with your watts. How does that work?
So at the moment in Europe, only Hungary is the one who doesn't allow these type of products on the balconies. We're hoping that this will change, and we're hoping that maybe we'll come up with the product that we can go around the legislation a little bit. This is exactly what we did also in Europe. because we created a balcony solar site protection, and by law in Europe, site protection on your balcony is totally allowed. So that's why we actually created such a product, and not different one.
So as we're looking at it here, when you say site protection, it looks like you just put up a screen, so so you have a little privacy around your balcony.
Yeah, like a privacy screen. So basically, they work like a privacy screen. They look totally black matte, so it actually looks very, very nice, and it doesn't look like you have even solar on your balcony.
Gorgeous. Great. I mean, everything, design, everything, you guys have really nailed it. And so here you are, the digital marketer extraordinaire. How are you sharing this important message too? Because there's a combination of, hey, easy to install, looks great, balcony, meets regs, all of that. But at the same time, let's get off the gas dependency and the fossil fuel dependency from Russia, and let's support the world and carbon footprint decrease and net carbon usage. How are you creating those kind of marketing campaigns? Because something's working if you're getting 60 to 70,000 pings a month.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I'm a huge fan, not just spending marketing money, because I think anyone can do that. And especially if you have the budgets, you can throw it away really fast. I'm a huge fan of looking for ways how to distribute the product with partnership with potential maybe B2B clients. And this is exactly what we're doing. So, for example, we have an employee benefit program running, because right now a lot of companies are trying to reduce their CO2. Yeah. So to get to the lower emissions. So we're running a program with large companies where they introduce this to their employees. So they basically get an instantly lower electricity bill. And the company actually gets the CO2 credits that they can say, hey, actually collectively as a team, we've done this work, and they will get like a virtual power plant, and they can see exactly how much CO2 they have saved. So this is one of the ways. Another way is that we're also going to be launching a rental model. So people, for example, that don't have let's say at the moment it costs like 1,299 for the set, but if they don't have that up front, they can actually rent the panels. Maybe they're moving houses, and they don't have a balcony in their next house. So we want to make sure that the product is very flexible. Another thing that we're doing is we're working with electrical vehicles. So here, electrical vehicles, if you have one, they also have CO2 certificates attached to them. And we actually exchange our product for CO2 certificates from the vehicle. So you can get our product free of charge. So at the end of the day, I'm trying to look for ways, how can people get, schemes and get our product free of charge? Yeah, that's
Yes.
Once.
I am just so all over that 100%. You all are being so creative in your marketing, in your partnering, and finding ways to have that win-win moment. And I really love the employee and employer marketing strategy there, where they can get that, and then using the EVs. That is so brilliant. Congratulations on that. And how much are these panels for the home?
1,299. So 1,299 is the set. And then the rental model will always be lower than you actually usually save. I cannot reveal the price that will be right now.
That's
but
fine.
it will be a very, very low price.
Oh my gosh. Well, before we get into the funding stories, I just want to say a quick hello. If you're still here, Kim, Roxy, Kim has this beautiful beauty line for women of color and men too, because men do wear makeup as well. That's clean and phenomenal. She is about to just explode. She's already done incredible work around the world. Hoping she'll join us on the show and share her story. Absolutely. Waving to you there in Texas, Kim. And then our wonderful Canadian from Ottawa, Canada, has a question for Karolina, Karolina, and that is, how diverse is your company? Because, Brent, as he says here, loyal fan, diverse person, especially with the neurodiverse population. I'd love to know how you're bringing diversity into WeDoSolar.
I think, I mean, for us, it's very, very important because obviously I want to make sure that our company, goes away from the narrative of just all white male, let's say management. Of course, myself and Tian, we are very different nationalities and I come from very different backgrounds. We have approximately 10 people right now, so we're not such a big team just yet, but we're growing. And out of these 10 people, 7 are women.
Super. Woo! And Richard O was like solar power for the win-win. Exactly. And,
Yes.
as you said earlier, you've taken the intimidation out of this as you communicate with everybody. I mean, really, you guys have an ideal co-founding team. I just love this. It's just almost like it was meant to be, right?
Yeah, totally.
So let's talk about fundraising because you and I were going off a little because, folks, this is right now, it is August 19, 2022, and women are just like so enraged because over the last few days, we found that Adam, the founder of WeWork, which did not, if you've got to watch the autopsy video. I can put that into the comment section. This is not someone you should be banking on going forward. Okay. But sure enough, he's got 2 ideas, not just one, that he just raised millions of dollars for at billion-dollar valuations of an idea that hasn't been even executed or implemented. So, Karolina, you're someone who's had to raise funds for your business. Talk a little bit about your fundraising story, and then we'll dive into what it's like as a female founder and certainly a diverse founding team to raise funds.
Yeah, to be honest, it's definitely not easy. Not easy at all because we are in Germany and luckily we do have a lot of German investors, but not all of them saw us as a strong team. Not all of us saw us that we can actually pull it off and get to the results that we got already.
Did you have to use your own savings? I know you had the initial investors. Have you been pretty much bootstrapping?
No, so we definitely had some of our own savings that we've put into the company, and then we had an angel round of fantastic people, entrepreneurs as well. They've put in some money for us to be able to actually get the product onto the market and get the MVP going, and making sure that
Right.
we're basically surviving on this money still until this day. And right now we're in the fundraising stage, raising our next round. So this is a seed round. And this is where we're talking to VCs. It's been interesting. Definitely not everyone sees me as a potential, maybe a strong leader, which I strongly disagree with. And
totally disagree with. Just listening to this conversation. Are you kidding? Getting a product to market and getting this level of interest, your co-founder could not have done that alone. He nailed down a really important component, but
he's doing definitely like very important component, and we
absolutely
support each other 100%. So we have each other's back. I think as a team, we've done it together 100%. So I would never, say that it's just my work.
That's right.
Your work.
But you add so much value, and I'm just going to always say this, that not only as a woman leader, but as somebody who is empathetic to the green tech climate crisis, but your ability to make it digestible for the common person who can be intimidated by this type of technology where it's mostly supposed to be installed. So when I hear these stories, because the VCs, again, folks, you know how I feel about this. It's a meritocracy out there, obviously, not a meritocracy, given that women are only getting 2% and people of color are getting even less in raising funds. It's still, you bring so much to the table, and you've proven this over the last year, extraordinarily so. So I'm going to just say it out there to anybody. If you know a VC or an angel group that loves climate tech, that has the same kind of passion that Karolina and her co-founder have, please let Karolina know. Okay. Reach her. We've got all, her contact information will be in the show notes. It's going across the screen right here. You can find her anywhere. Let's add some sun to her panels. I was going to say wind to her sails. No, that's wind power. We need solar power, so she can do that. And especially here in the States, because it's my understanding you want to enter the US market.
At some point, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. So I'll be in New York in a couple of weeks as well. We won a fantastic competition with the delegation to go to US to pitch US VCs, to be also on a couple of green tech stages. So I'm super excited. And, it's definitely going to be an experience, because I know that pitching VCs in the US is completely different than in Europe. Here, we're very conservative. And I know in US, I have to be,
Oh, yeah.
very much asking, like, what is your vision, in 10 years? So I do have that vision, and I hope, I'll be able to bring the message across of what I'm really dreaming and seeing for this company. But it has been definitely tough, I think I was telling you, one of my favorite ones, obviously, is telling me, oh, well, we just love your product, but, we're just going to cheer you from the sidelines. And that's like they all say that. And that's like one of the worst things that they can write in an email, to be honest.
Awful, 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 awful. We're going to cheer for you from the sidelines. Okie dokie. That
Yeah.
doesn't help me at all. Who do you know? You're not interested. Understand completely. Who
Yeah.
can you introduce me to that might be interested? Thank you. I want leads. Oh my gosh. I might even do that for the TikTok, which is, to remind women, cheering us from the sidelines, make introductions, VCs, investors. You really need to be helping, especially in our climate crisis, especially in our green tech and climate tech companies. They need you the most. And did you notice that you got different questions than your co-founder as far as when you were raising capital? Did you look over and say, wow, he got the you go guy versus me? What's going to happen when things go wrong?
Yeah, definitely. We even see, we support each other very much, but we also see how certain people react to me towards him, for example, literally just gender based, and assuming, that he's more important maybe than me, where we totally see each other as equals. However, I'm the CEO of the company, so pretty much every room that I go into, it is only male dominant, and
Yes.
they never assume that I'm the CEO of a company, that makes decisions.
Right.
It's
And
never
what right. And what happens too is that they belittle, marginalize, push off the fact of your digital marketing background, which is just so much part of your brilliance, because these things don't sell themselves.
Yeah.
And
that's also one of the questions, I get. Well, are you an engineer? Why do you think that you're going to be good at it? And to be honest, I don't believe in the fact that to create a great product, you have to be anything or any type of education, especially engineer. I don't have to be an engineer. I can be an engineer to create something like this, but I can also just have an idea and know how to build it and know how to bring it to market. And one of the best things that you can do in a company is actually knowing how to bring it to market, how to market it, and how to create pure value for people that can use it.
Bravo. Bravo. Get out the clappers for that, Karolina. Absolutely. And, when will this bias change, folks? Look, I don't have any magic crystal ball that I'm looking into, but it is just continuing to amplify founder voices like Karolina's out there in the world. So please be sure to add, your amplification to this story, to Karolina and what she's doing with her incredible, beautiful business, WeDoSolar. And talk a little bit about the app and creating the app and why that was important instead of just having the product itself.
Yeah. So at the moment on the solar market, no matter whether it's solar for the roof or any type of other installation, you actually don't know how much energy you're producing, and you don't know how much maybe CO2 you're saving. And obviously, since we have the CO2 aspect, I think it's amazing for people to get educated and understand what an impact they're actually doing by having solar panels, not just the balcony, but really anywhere. And for us, it was important to educate people about the climate, about what is changing in our world. And so all of our solar panels, there are basically 4G connected, so we can actually gather the data and show data in real time. How much production of energy you have, and how much CO2 you're saving. And by when we're showing like CO2 savings, for example, we're telling you, oh, you've saved so much CO2 that equals to, let's say, 1,000 square meters of forest. So that's amazing. And it's something that we can grasp onto in real life. Or, you've generated 1 kilowatt hour of energy. Like, what does that mean? A lot of people don't know what it
They
means
don't.
in real life, or how much it even
What
costs.
does that mean?
For example, 60 phone chargers. So you can charge your phone 60 times. And this is actually the amount of energy that you can produce within, half a day of your panels working on your balcony. So obviously, a lot of household devices that we have in our house would be constantly, charged by solar. And I think one of the things that nobody knows, and actually, or not many people know, is that solar has greater power, or like much bigger push in our grid than our grid power. So whenever there's peaks of energy, solar will always be used first. So you're basically always reducing your bill, by
Oh
just
my
using.
gosh. It's kind of like, the Fitbit that I wear. Hey, Angie, you've got this many steps in. It feels so good. Being able to look at your smartphone and go, what? I just saved this amount of money, plus I helped the planet, and that's equal to that many charges or this many, and saving the forest. And you can just go, feeling good about yourself every day. That was a really smart addition that you did, because we get here in the US, we've got community solar, we've got people putting on their roofs, but everybody's wondering, well, I think 35 dollars a month. They don't know. They have no clue.
Yeah, they don't know. And you just like kind of like when you get your bill, you are able to calculate it kind of. So at some point, right now there's so many also energy providers, so we don't say how much, let's say, money you're saving, but you can see the production. But at a certain point, I can definitely see us implementing a feature where you can actually put in all of your details, let's say your energy provider, how much you're paying for kilowatt hour, and then you're able actually to see in money how much you're saving as well.
I love that so much. And yes, Richard O how to very clearly explain it to the end user, but also gives them that wonderful party time feeling. Because they can, when you can see that information, it really means the world to you. I mean, most people I know get a real kick out of that. So what does success look like for WeDoSolar? Like, where do you see, 1 year, 2 years, what does that look like? Because I know it changes each time, but what would you like to see happen over the next 12 to 24 months?
So for us, it's like one of the aims is definitely reduction of CO2. And number two, became very important this year with the invasion, is the lowering of the gas that we're using. So we want to make sure that everyone can participate. And I know that our nation wants to participate and actually do something for the environment, but also for its independency with energy. For us, it's really important to reduce as much CO2 as we can, and
Absolutely.
get as much dependency as we can, to make
And
sure
do you
that.
have like a unit number? Like, where would you like to be at in units, over the next few years? Like, if you hit a number, what would that number be? Where you'd like,
um,
okay,
so within
we're
the
rock
next,
stars.
yeah, within the next 5 years, we would like to have 2 million installations.
Great.
This is our aim. Within the next 5 years, we also see each other, each other. We see us as the biggest distributed solar farm out there, because these little power plants are, let's say, planted everywhere. They're all connected. We get the data from them, so we can totally
Yes.
actually reach this goal. And
I love
this
that term, Karolina, the mini power plants. Come on, guys. Just think about that. There you are on your balcony having coffee in the morning or wine in the evening, going, there I am. I'm a power plant right there.
yeah, definitely.
I love that. And so as a founder, serial entrepreneur, I'm sure over the years you've had many moments where you're feeling, why bother? oh my gosh, put a fork in it. It's done. I'm done. Never mind. All of those feelings of just like inadequacy. What did you do to shift your headspace? Like, do you have a mindset hack that you use, or is there a book you go to? How do you get yourself back into, I've got this?
I definitely have those moments all the time. To be honest, I don't think I will ever be able to quit. That's the whole point. I think I'm having way too much fun, and this gives me so much adrenaline that building companies will probably be part of my life forever. Um, to be honest, like at some days when I'm feeling down, I just try to take this day to myself. I think it's really important, and I think it's important not to force yourself to work. Work should be fun and work should be enjoyable. That's why I don't really feel like I'm working. I'm really enjoying my time with what I do. But when I do have these moments, just take some time off and clear your head. This works for me in the best way.
Yeah. And it's so important, founders. I laugh about the 24/7 because it's like parenting, it's always on your mind, but
Yeah.
you need some downtime. You need that time to just do something that has nothing to do with your business that you're building. Richard O, great question. Is WeDoSolar available in the US?
Not yet, but we're hoping very soon. So for US, we would have to build the sets in a bit of a different way, so a bit of a technical setup. So we're just making sure that our designs and everything will be, adequate with the US market. And this is, just some time that we need for research and for testing before we bring it
Do you
there.
think like 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, you'll be able to enter the US market?
After 12 months.
After 12 months.
Yeah.
Good, because we're going to be here ready. We're going to be not just cheering, we'll be buying.
To be honest, I had some US potential clients, and they were coming to Germany and trying to buy it here and then to bring it to US. And I was like, guys, it's not gonna work. It's a different setup. And they're like, oh no, we were like really hoping we can just buy it here and just bring it to US.
Oh my gosh, folks, it's really great when you're solving a problem people really want. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like an ideal case of, hey, we see this problem and wow, all these people want it. And now they're flying over to Germany thinking they can bring it back. But, this is the grid, folks. There's a lot of different components when
Yeah.
you plug it in and how you get to use that energy that the sun is giving you in your panels there. So I can't wait for you to figure that out. I can't wait to see you get some great investment money. Remember, folks, you've got to reach out to Karolina at WeDoSolar, and I will have all the links in the show notes. What hard thing are you working on right now? I know you're raising money, but is there anything else that we can do to open doors for you?
I think like our main goal right now is fundraising
Okay.
because it takes a lot of time,
Right.
and we have so many orders already that we want to make sure that we can cater these orders, that we can deliver it to our clients. This is the main thing for us. I think in terms of coming up with like newer products, because this is just one of the products that we're going to be out with, but we have others in the
Oh,
pipeline.
yay.
Different types of balconies for different types of installations, potentially maybe installing it on your facades as well in a very easy way. So there's going to be a bunch of things depending on like how you live, but they're going to be all based on vertical mounting. So not on rooftops. We're not going to go to the rooftop market. I think there is enough players out there. So everything is going to be vertically mounted for us and for our products. And if you have any great ideas or something that maybe you think we should make, definitely suggest those. I would love to hear from you, and love to hear your ideas.
Karolina, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your fascinating story. I am so excited about your passion
Thank
for
you.
your business, WeDoSolar, but also how well you are executing and implementing. And this dream team that you've got with your co-founder is outstanding because you can meet the orders, and you can have manufacturing nailed down like you all do. Plus, the interest and people ready to buy and the right price point, and you're making it easy. They can rent. You're just doing so many things so well. I'm really excited for
Thank
the
you.
future of WeDoSolar.
Thank you so much. It's
Ah,
been amazing. I'm super excited that we did this. I was looking forward to it so much,
yeah.
and no, I actually cannot wait to watch some of the other episodes that you have.
Oh, thank you for that. I'm going to pop you in the green room. Stick around so I can give you a big hug afterwards. And we're just saying, Karolina, that thank you for helping to save the planet. Absolutely, I agree 100%. Seriously, and to lower the fossil fuel dependence
Yes.
on a country that is not doing well in the world at
No.
all, Russia. Just going to put it out there, folks. All right, going to pop you in the green room and let folks know who's coming up next. Stick around for the big virtual hug. Oh my gosh, folks, we learned so much from Karolina, and also, all the parts and pieces that had to go into this usually takes folks a while to do, but both Karolina and her co-founder were uniquely qualified to do this and get this up and off the ground and into consumers' hands throughout Europe. And I'm very excited to see what they are going to be doing. Speaking of paving the way for amazing things in the world, our next guest on Tuesday, August 23rd at 12 p.m. ET, it's the dynamic consultant, coach, and educator, Sarah Scala. And she's been helping corporations transform performance through her leadership and executive coaching and change management consulting. And I have to tell you, she's got a great story to share because she had been out to friends and family for years, but it wasn't until recently that she began letting her clients know that she is a member of the LGBTQ plus community. So she's not only going to be sharing her best founder journey stories, because she's been doing this great consulting for 10 years, but she'll be sharing her own transformation stories as she shifted her consulting practice into a more LGBTQ plus focused practice. So you know what to do to get an alert whenever I post a new show. That's right. Join the Startup Life Live meetup group, subscribe to YouTube, follow me on LinkedIn, and that way you'll be ready to glow as well. Thank you so much for carving out time and tuning in. And I can't wait to hear and cheer you on and find out what you've got going on with your wonderful startup. And until then, I'm wishing you a delicious day everywhere you glow. Mwah!